From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, top military hierarchy dismisses rumors of a planned coup d'etat, insists the military are defenders of democracy. Tonight, federal government makes a U-turn, drops corruption charges amounting to 446.3 billion naira against Muhammad Abacha, son of the late military head of state. Police make massive deployment of officers and men ahead of Ekiti governorship election. And Baghdad asks the United States to launch airstrikes against jihadist militants.
And on business news tonight, federal government sets to invest 1.6 billion naira on power transmission network.
And in sports news, defending champions Spain and the Socceroos of Australia crash out of the ongoing FIFA World Cup.
Gloria Umezioke, and from Abuja, Adamawa State boils as House of Assembly serves Governor Murtala Inyako and his deputy impeachment notice.
We begin with a message from the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade, to those insinuating the military is planning to take over government. We're not about to do that, he says, and we will continue to defend democracy as military rule is no longer fashionable. Air Chief Marshal Bade made the comment to journalists after he accepted the centenary flag from the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mr. Mike Omeri.
I had rumors, people, some fertile minds or I don't know, some evil minds. I had people talking about coup or rumors of coup. Rumors of coup in Nigeria, they must be living somewhere else. They are not Nigerians. What coup? Armed forces are defenders of democracy. The military is an arm of democracy. So if you are an arm, how can you think about coming to yourself? Not in this country. Absolutely not in this country. Democracy has come to stay in Nigeria and we will follow it. Anybody that talks will grab the constitution and show him where does it say that it can be done that way. It will not be done. At least not under our watch. Honestly, I want to show Nigeria that nobody should have any fear. We will do our democracy. In very slow democracies, people died. People paid the price. But their democracies have come to stay. In England, even a king had been killed before. In the military takeover. In France, several things happened. In the military takeover. So why would Nigeria always be thinking negative? Tell them that we will not do it.
Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade. The federal government today gave an indication that it is no longer interested in prosecuting Mr. Muhammad Abacha, son of the former military head of state, General Sani Abacha. The federal government also dropped the 446.3 billion naira stolen property charge against him. The money is believed to have been misappropriated by the late General Sani Abacha when he was head of state from 1993 to 1998. The case, which was scheduled for hearing at the Federal High Court Abuja, was called off apparently due to the government's intention to discontinue the case. Several billions of naira allegedly stolen by the military head of state and kept mostly in Switzerland have been recovered by the federal government. The federal government recently asked the United States to return another $500 million, recently frozen by the U.S. as part of funds stolen by the late General Sani Abacha. Well, residents of Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, are still reeling in shock after a bomb blast which killed about 7 people at a World Cup viewing center. Many of them have thronged the General Sani Abacha Specialist Hospital where the injured are being treated. Some people at the scene say that an attacker dropped a device in front of the venue yesterday night and ran off, while others say it was the work of a suicide bomber. However, the injured at the General Sani Abacha Specialist Hospital recounts their experience to Channels Television.
The scene here speaks for itself. Remnants of a destruction so mind-boggling, most wonder what could possibly want to make anyone destroy human lives so easily and without remorse. The body parts here are so grotesque that few on seeing this will be able to hold a meal down. The General Sani Abacha Specialist Hospital. This is where the dead and the survivors were taken to after the bomb went off. The pain is definitely intense, but it could have been worse. Some others died, but at least these ones, in spite of the pain, are alive to tell their story.
Daicin takaitawa ne dai abin da na iya gani, abin da kuma na sani a kai shine mun zo shago za mu ajiye kayan mu a freezer sai ga bayan Allah sun zo a napep sun zo sun fakawansu ke da wuya 'yan mintuna ne tsakani kawai sai muka ji wannan abu ya riga da ya faru.
Na tsaya sayar da charge card kawai abin ya tashi ban san daga yamma ba ne arewa ne kudu a ban sani ba kawai ya tashi na ji abu ya bugi kafa na yanda na yi na jan gindina da mene na je tasha.
Mun zo wucewa ne muka tsaya sayar charge card daidai gurin da abin ya faru, to muna nan daidai daga kudu da mu kafin mu hankara abu ya riga faru. Kaga kowa ta kansa zai yi ba zai tsaya ta abin da yake faruwa ba. Dai muna godiyan Allah da ya sanya rayuwar mu bata kare akan haka ba, idan wanda na so rayuwar ta kare Allah jikansu da gafara.
As the survivors recount their experience, the state government, represented by the deputy governor, makes an entrance. Government, like many others, condemns this heinous act and goes on to offer its assistance to the victims. The Yobe state government also wants the federal government to intensify the war against terror in the country.
I would like also to seize this opportunity to call on the security personnel not to deter, not to despair. They should remain focused and pursue our goal of finding the bad people around us. This thing has been going on for a very long time. Let's endure. Inshallah, it will come to an end.
But truly, for the people of Yobe State and other states in the northeast region, watching football at a viewing center appears to be a dangerous pastime. Once again, the ball is in the court of the authorities to secure the lives of its vulnerable citizens.
We're staying with security issues. One of the national leaders of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, Chief Audu Obe, has challenged the military to defend the budgetary spending of the armed forces in the past few years. Chief Obe, who said he was worried over the incessant attacks by Boko Haram in the northeast, advised the military to tackle insurgency more vigorously.
When you hear from the interviews that these soldiers are giving to foreign journalists and saying openly they have no weapons to fight with, that they have no food, that for 3 months their allowances have not been paid, that on one of their missions they had to stop and pluck mangoes to eat, that the guns they have are the ones Shagari left for them, bought for them, and that they have no new weapons. Then you ask yourself, where is the budget the money they've been budgeting going to? The first time they put 1 trillion almost for defense. Then the late Azazi was alive. 2 weeks ago, Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala announced that she had released 130 billion naira, almost $800 million, to the military. They still say they have no weapons. The Borno state government gave them 400 Hiluxes. The secretary to government appeared on TV and said before their very eyes the vehicles were shared among the top people in the military. They gave them 10 billion naira. He said so. Said, if anybody wants to argue, let him come. I have the records. And yet they say they have no weapons to fight. There's something sinister going on this whole so-called Boko Haram wahala. If you equip the Nigerian army and the soldiers tell you that, they say there's nothing that Boko Haram can do to stand them for a month. If you give them nothing, and these fellows have guns that range 2 kilometers, and rocket launchers, and missile launchers, and can fire from a distance at our soldiers, and our soldiers can respond, Boko Haram will be here for the next 10 years.
In part 2 after the break, no lawmaking in Edo House of Assembly as security operatives continue to guard the assembly complex. That's in a moment. Please join us again.